Hey, World Entertainment, and as you know, if you're a regular viewer to the channel, I've done a few videos now on Cliffhanger 2, and of course the last update was that it was actually starting to film in Europe. I believe it's in Austria that they're currently starting to film. Well, it's just been hit with massive bad news for fans of the original because Stallone has dropped out. And apparently it's over creative differences, and not just that, but the entire movie has basically been overhauled, except for the main core of the story. And we now have who our official cast are in this new version of it. So it's not going to be Gabe anymore. It's going to be a brand new character, and that character will be played by Brosnan. And as for the daughter, it's going to be played now by Lily James, who, for people who are wondering why does that name familiar but I can't quite place her, she of course was the star of the newer live action Cinderella movie. She of course was in Downton Abbey, which I think is where she really kind of got her break, and she played Pamela Anderson in the Pam and Tommy TV movie thing, whatever that was. So it sucks now that Stallone was away. I was always worried, a little worried anyway, about the whole, he was going to get kidnapped and the daughter was going to be the one to go out saving him, which is still the core story from what we're going to see in this. But it's just trying to picture now Pierce Brosnan being in that type of role. I don't know. As much as I love Pierce Brosnan, you know, James Bond, yeah, come on. But to be in that kind of physical shape for that, yeah, it is what it is. But let's have a look at this that goes over this. So it says, it's bad news for Sylvester Stallone fans who were hoping to see him pop up in Cliffhanger 2, as Variety reports that Sly is now out and Pierce Brosnan and Lily James are in. Set to follow in the footsteps of the 93 action thriller, filming is underway in Austria on the production, which has undergone a complete overhaul since it was announced a little while ago. So much so that we're wondering if it can even be called a sequel. Originally featuring Stallone reprising his role of Gabe Walker, only for him to be kidnapped and rescued by his mountain climbing daughter, based on the official synopsis, the movie doesn't look to have gone through too many plot changes now that Brosnan is taking over for Stallone. It was previously reported that Rick Roman Y, I think his name, of Greenland would helm the sequel, but he's out as well. With, I have no idea how to pronounce this name, Jermaine Colt Sierra, I probably absolutely butchered that, who worked on something called Carry On Non-Stop. I'm assuming that's one movie and not two, don't know. He's taking on, or she, whatever it is taking on directorial duties. The screenplay by Mark, whatever you pronounce the second name, has also been tossed aside in favour of a new story by Anna Lily Amanpour of A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, whatever the hell that is. There's no word on why Stallone exited the project, but you can check out all the details on Cliffhanger, blah blah blah, and of course it just goes over the synopsis. But I will go over this because it gives you the new character name. So seasoned mountaineer Ray Cooper Brosnan operates a luxury chalet in the Dolomites with daughter Sydney. During a weekend trip with a billionaire's son, they are targeted by a gang of kidnappers. Ray's daughter Naomi James, still haunted by a past climbing accident, witnesses the attack and escapes. To save her family, she must confront her fears and fight for survival. Okay. It's weird because they said Ray Cooper operates blah 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 with daughter Sydney, and then down here it says Ray's daughter Naomi, and Naomi is being played by Lily James. So who the hell is Sydney? You know, see how that doesn't really make sense. It's a weird synopsis. So it says now that production is finally underway on Cliffhanger 2. More cast members have been announced to appear in the sequel, including Neil Tiger Free, whoever the hell that is, who is hot off the success of The First Omen this year. Also showing up are Franz Rogowski. Jesus God. Seriously, people, just get a normal name that you can read. Who was from Passengers. Shubham Sarhaf, I think is how you say it. I've no idea. Astrid Bood, something like that. Susie Bimba. There's a lot of women's names coming up in this. And Bruno Gordy from Emily in Paris. So it's strange, you know. There's obviously clearly something. To me, what it sounds like, and why Stallone would have went no, it's probably because he would have had a lot of input as well into the story, and the studio clearly went no. And that could have been in the case of he wanted a bit more screen time, maybe, because maybe they are really relegating the male character to be like the damsel in distress almost, you know. And that's stupid, because that wasn't even the case in the original movie. The women in the original movie were strong, capable women as well, and, you know, who could go side by side with Stallone as Gabe and whatnot. And this sounds very much like it's now, oh no, now you have to be the damsel in distress and your daughter has to be the one saving you. And Stallone might have been like, look, I get it, we can work on it, but I think maybe it should be Gabe and the daughter have to work together to do it. And the studio might have just been like, no, we need it for modern audiences. And by the sounds of everything that they're going to do, that's exactly what you're going to get. Now, Lily James, like, she's not exactly big in stature. You know what I mean? I think she's only like 5'3" or something. So to think she is going to have to be the hero, you know, that's where you're like, okay, here we go again with this type of stuff. The small girl who's going to be able to take on these massive dudes. Pierce Brosnan, by the sounds of it, maybe they replaced Gabe with this guy Ray Cooper, because Pierce Brosnan is willing to, yeah, I'll take the payday and sit there and do a few scenes. Like, for all we know, he himself could only end up shooting for like 4 days. It doesn't sound like there's going to be much of the father character in the movie. So, to be honest with you, even though I was interested in Cliffhanger 2 to see Stallone return, and I know Stallone was pumped to do a Cliffhanger 2. He wanted to do it for years, and here it seemed to finally be happening. And now, clearly, the studio has done something that obviously has made him go no to this and walk away. And they're just going to do the kind of girl boss thing. It's so obvious. I've lost interest now in Cliffhanger 2. And as this thing even says, you know, at this stage, could you even call it a sequel? God only knows. I suppose we'll find out at some stage. Well, let's keep our eyes open and see what happens with this. So, with that, I'll leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.